Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I am Molly and I do book content here on YouTube. And today I'm coming at you with a book haul. It is a accumulation of a few months, not sure how many, maybe 3, 4, something like that ish. I can't quite remember when my last one was that I filmed. I think I may have shown a couple of these in my vlogs. I'm not sure how many because one vlog, which was September's, I think, was unable to be shown. So I think that had my biggest haul of books at once. But that's fine because I'm going to show it all anyway. What I'm going to do is try not to go into it too much, just in case I have any repeats. Just a caveat before I get into the vlog video. I would like to tell you, I don't know how to say this, I can't talk. I know book hauls can be a bit of a contention towards people, so if you do not want to watch a book haul for any reason, whether it's because you find it too tempting to spend money or you don't like the consumerism aspect, whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. If you're not comfortable watching this, then please don't watch it. I don't want to force you to watch something you're not going to enjoy or whatever, or you're going to find difficult. So if you don't want to watch this, that's perfectly okay. I have lots of other videos on my channel, as well as hauls, so obviously avoid the rest of those, because if you're not watching this, you're not going to want to watch those. But yes, this accumulation of a few months, including my birthday books. So I will probably leave those for last because they're the more recent ones anyway. And yes, I'm not quite sure where to start. This here is some of the books, the top of the books that you can see. And I'm trying to think where to start. Maybe I'll do these two. They're from the charity shop. But the charity shop I went to was doing a, what did you call it? The mystery book thing, where they wrap it up and stuff. Unfortunately, it didn't tell you what type of book it was, whether it's fantasy, rating, stuff like that. It was just certain age group, which I think was YA and adult, I think were the two options, or YA and children's middle grade sort of stuff. I honestly don't remember. But anyway, two different age groups. And so I picked one from each of them because I read different ages. So one I am going to unhaul because I already have it, and that is The Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. So that I will be unhauling. I think I'll take it to my church fair, because we've got church fair for Christmas coming up, so I might take that. But the one I am keeping, because it sounds interesting when I read the blurb, and is The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. This is, I think, adult, and it's historical fantasy, or like fantasy magical realism in the real world. I'm not quite sure which one it is, but it's set in World War One, or during World War One, should I say. And yeah, the blurb sounded interesting when I unwrapped it, so I thought I would give it a try. And Catherine Arden rings a bell. I can't remember what she's written. I might have one of her books. Oh, that was it. She's done a lot of the fairy tale type books. So if you've heard of The Bear and the Nightingale, which is the one I've heard of, she's the author who wrote that. The next ones, I will probably do these. So I'm missing two of them because I've read them. Again, you will see those. You will have seen those in my October wrap up. And that is the Tiara Club series. I have books 1 to 6 from the main series, and these are books 3, 4, 5 and 6 in wrong order. So yeah, I've got those. I got them off eBay, I think, really cheap. I'll show you the pictures of them individually. So book 3 is Princess Daisy and the Dazzling Dragon. Book 4 is Princess Alice and the Magical Mirror. Book 5 is Princess Sophia and the Sparkling Surprise. And then book 6 is Princess Emily and the Beautiful Fairy. And these are childhood favourites of mine when I was a kid, and I wanted to reread them basically for nostalgia. Also, they fit for a couple of prompts for my yearly challenges as well, so that was an added bonus. I will go for these that I picked up at my local supermarket at Tesco, and one of them is Murder Before Even, sung by Reverend Richard Coles. This is the TV series cover version. Obviously the originals isn't like this, but there's a new TV series out on Channel 5 here in the UK, and on their streaming website. I don't know how you can watch it in the US or elsewhere, but that's where you can watch it here. And this is, I think they call it Cozy Mystery, but it's a mystery series, and this is book 1. And then, because apparently I can't just buy one book, I bought 2 I bought another one when I got that one, and that was Filthy Rich Vampire by Geneva Lee. This is a romantic comedy with vampires, and I think it might be fake dating. Yeah, fake dating. And the blurb just made it sound really funny, so I was like, I wouldn't normally be into it because it's human and vampire relationship, I think. Yeah, she's human. So yeah, it just sounded really funny. So I'll try that. The only thing is that I don't know about content. But it was only like £6, so I was like, might as well. Cheaper than full price. Normally it's about £9.99, so I thought it was pretty good. Let's see. The next one is also a charity shop by this is one of my most recent ones, and this again is another childhood favourite. It's a childhood picture book. Not childhood, it's a children's picture book, and this is called Sixth in the Shed, and this is by Ingham Moore. If you've watched one of my videos, and I can't remember what it was, where I was talking about childhood books that I really liked, this was the one that came to my head. This is the one that I was talking about, and funnily enough, a few weeks later I found it at the charity shop for really cheap. £1.99, so £2. So I was like, that saved me buying it full price. So there it is. Now I have my childhood favourite book. I used to love this book. So there you go. And it's a nice big picture there of the cat looking around in the houses. I'm sure you can't guess what he's looking for. Definitely not more dinners, right? That was something. Alright. So the next one I'm going to use to represent a whole series, because I'm not going to hold them all out. Most people, even if you're not into reading them, you know the series. So I'm just going to use one book to represent all of them. So in my September vlog, you would have seen, if it had actually worked, I have a book donations area in my local Tesco where people, take a book and donate money, however much they want or can afford. So there's very much an honour system with it. And so I do pick up the odd book here or there. And I have to say, when I went that time, I picked up the Motherlode, is the only way to describe it. So, as you may remember, I started reading the Harry Potter series as an adult. I seem to have got into it a bit better. And for those of you who remember, I read book 2 with the old original covers. So, not these ones. And I don't want to show it because it's a spoiler. Although I could get you book 2 to show you. Hang on. So, this is book 2, which I picked up at a charity shop. Again, about £1. So these are the original covers that I grew up with. I wanted to collect them. And funnily enough, at one point, after saying that I can never find them anywhere, I've been seeing them everywhere. And firstly, I saw them at my book donations, and they were showing books 1 to 6. Yeah, book 1 to 6. So Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, and Half-Blood Prince. So I picked those up, and I'm just going to show you book 1 to represent them, because I just realised the book I was going to show you, actually I didn't buy with them. So yeah, I got them all in these. They were a mixture of hardback and paperback, most of them hard. So some of them did have a little bit of fading, but the fading wasn't too bad. And also, because they were the covers, they protected the original. And look at that, perfect. So, because of that, I was like, I'll pick them all up. Spent £10 on the first 5 books in the series, as well as an extra book. So whilst I was picking these up, I also found The Shack by William Paul Young. This is Christian fiction, a very classic one, even I've heard of it. I've never read it, but I've heard it's supposed to be really good. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a try, buy it and give it a try, especially because it's from book donation, so I didn't really spend anything on it of much money. So I thought I'd pick this up and hopefully get to it sometime. I know there's some bits that are a bit contested and a bit taboo or mixed feelings about, but I'd like to read it and see. So that was those. And then, whilst I was, since saying that I could never find the Harry Potter books, and then I found that big collection at Tesco, I found them everywhere. I kept seeing them everywhere in all the charity shops, and I was like, I mean, it's still a good deal, okay? I'm just glad I got them from the Tesco. But it was just really funny that I said that I can never see them in the original covers anywhere. And then as soon as I say that, they all could keep turning up. It's how it always goes. Nothing new there. But because of that, I did see the final book, Deathly Hallows, book 7, in a charity shop for £2. Oh, sorry, £3, £2.99. So here it is, the really thick one. Look at that. And again, really good condition. And again, because it's hardback, you've got the cover and you've got the original. So you, even if there's fading, you don't get fading on the actual hardback. So that's fantastic. I'm really pleased about that, because in the end I've spent about £13. Well, actually, I bought that one, didn't I? So about £14, £15. I didn't get, when I got them really cheaply at my Tesco, I already had the second one. And they had the second one with them, you know, with the other books. And I did consider buying it as well. But because I already had this one, I was like, there's no point. I didn't feel the need to get it, even though it was hardback. But this is paperback, and so is one of the other books, so they kind of go together. It's me, it doesn't matter, but yeah, it mattered to me at the time, apparently. So yeah, that's those. Let's see, where should we go from there? Maybe we should stick to Tesco. There are some more that I bought from Tesco, just normal full price. So one of them, and this is one I might unhaul, and that is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. R.F. Kuang does a few different things. She's known for the Poppy War series and for Yellowface in particular. So, interesting that show does. Oh yeah, it does. Can't read. So yeah, I bought this because it was the only one, even though it's a little damaged somewhere, just on the spine. But also, I'm very good at damaging the paper covers anyway. So I just didn't bother too much about that. But I am having second thoughts, because It's not just about a student, woman, grad student, going to hell with one other guy to try and get their teacher to, I think, is it to do a positive, like, not review, but, I don't know. It just says that the person in hell is someone who can make a dream come true. I don't know. But anyway, the hell thing is a bit dodgy, obviously, for me as a Christian. But then also I have found that someone I watch who read this book said that there are several pages of animal harm, basically, that is just unnecessary. It's bad enough having animal harm in a book, but I can handle that. Unless it's like several pages and basically unnecessary from what she was saying. So with those two things in mind, I'm like, do I just unhaul this? So I'm not sure. I didn't pay full price. It was about £11, which still isn't cheap, but it's not massively expensive either. So it's not bad. But so yeah, we'll see. I'm not quite sure about that one. Okay, then the next one that I got at the same time, I got this at the same time as I got Catabasis at the normal Tesco book area, and I got Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. It's insanely thick. Look how big that book is. I was having second thoughts when I saw the page count, I'm not going to lie, but it sounded really good, so I thought I'd get it and give it a try. So hopefully I'll get to this sometime. It's fantasy. I don't know what age it is, like YA or adult or something. It sounded interesting. The other thing is I don't know about content because I assume there's probably some sort of romance. Although I could be wrong, but either way there could be other content anyway, so I don't know. But either way, it sounds interesting, and also I was kind of drawn in by the cover. I mean, how could I not be? So that's those from Tesco. The rest, or not, I'm thinking I might do these first. So these are actually from 2 different shops, so I will go through them separately. So they're on the same day. They were when I went to the High Peaks bookshop that I've been to before that have cheap books. They're like in the middle of nowhere, essentially. They're really great. The books aren't always that recent, but they're really cheap. Fantastic. It's where I got Pilgrim's Progress from, if you remember that. But this book I have been looking for a while. I'm not fussed about this cover, to be honest. But for the money, I thought, you know what? It's about the inside, not the outside. And I mean, it's not a bad cover, but I've seen the other covers, and I'm like, I like those better, but it's fine. But I picked up Grady Hendrix's How to Sell a Haunted House. I've heard this isn't actually ghosts, so that's why I picked it up. But it sounded really interesting when I've heard people on, let's be honest, secular booktube, mostly anyway. It sounded really interesting. It's one of the ones I would read because the others that I can think of right now aren't, even though they intrigue me, then I don't feel comfortable reading them as a Christian. And if you're interested, they're the books. My Best Friend's Exorcism, I think. I'll see if I can do a cover. That looks really good because it's very 80s, the cover. And it sounded interesting, but I was like, I'm not going to read that. It's about demon possession and all of that stuff. And yeah, I just don't feel comfortable reading that as a Christian. And then the more recent one, or one of them, is the Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. It's a lot of W's. Also sounded interesting, but also because it's about witchcraft and it's about them actually being given on purpose, from the sounds of the blurb and what people have said, a book on witchcraft or whatever it was. And I was like, okay, that's a bit too realistic. I am not going to read that. So it's nice to hear of a book that I might be okay reading. We'll see, of course. I mean, I've not read it, but I'm interested to try it. It sounded good. Okay, and then on that same day we went to Buxton, and we found out when we last went before this time that I'm going to talk about, we went a different way and we saw 2 bookshops that we had never seen before, and I was very excited, of course. So we were like, oh, we should come to this part of it next time and then have a look at them. And when we did, for this occasion, one of them unfortunately was shut. It's their normal day to be shut when we went. I think it was a Wednesday. So that was a shame, because that was a second-hand bookstore. So that would have been really interesting to look at. But the other one actually also had second-hand books, but it was bigger and different. So the bookshop we ended up going to was called, I think, Scrivener's, I think. I did try and film it, but I don't think I think that was the September vlog, so I think you won't have seen it, unfortunately. It wasn't much though, but it was showing the books. It has a selection of rare and expensive books on the ground floor when you first walk in, which is really cool. You get a lot of old books, but you also get some of the modern ones, like an expensive. I actually saw Deathly Hallows there, but it was 20 quid, and I was like, I see that everywhere, I'm not going to buy it for 20 quid. So I left that one. But they had lots of other books of varying prices, a lot of them quite cheap. And they have 5 floors, I think, which is insane. The one thing I didn't like about it is the stairs. The stairs are steep and the banisters are not all the way around. And for most non-disabled and people who don't get scared, or, well, anxious more accurately about those things, wouldn't care less, and that's fantastic. I'm not one of you. It matters to me, so yeah, not great for access, but fantastic books, lots of selections, lots of old books. I saw a few older editions of things like Anne of Green Gables. You get your more modern books as well. I can't remember any off the top of my head, but you know, the usual things like Harry Potter and I don't know, all sorts. As well as other books and other classics as well, like there was a lot of Agatha Christie. I was really tempted, but I didn't. But I did get one book that I was really excited about, and actually, thinking about it now, it might be one that I can do for December, and I'll explain why in a minute. So the book I picked up was Road to Avonlea, and this is Further Chronicles of Avonlea by Ellen Montgomery. And so this is the sequel to I Sing the Chronicles of Avonlea. So yes, I picked this up. I really liked the cover. It was really cheap. Did it say how much it was? Yeah, about £3, I think. So really cheap. And yes, and so I was thinking about it for December, now that I'm thinking of talking about it, because if you are a regular viewer, you know that I am doing the Year of More challenge that Chantel is hosting. And this month in November, we're finishing the Anne of Green Gables, and then next month it's Ellen Montgomery, Anne of Green Gables related. But I don't know if this counts as one of the books, like options that you can pick up. If it does, I'll probably read this. If not, I will find something else. But yeah, but that was cool either way, because we all know I love Ellen Montgomery. But my grandma very kindly, whilst we were there, picked up a fridge magnet, so I'll show you that as well. This is what it looks like, or kind of anyway. So that's Scrivener's there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, is it? Yes, Scrivener's. So that's what it looks like, and that's in Buxton here in the UK. And yeah, it was really cool. I really liked it, other than the stairs, but yeah. So that's those. Let's go on to some other books. So what should we do next? So the next books are from, again, the same place that I got the Grady Hendrix book, the High Peaks bookstore, but this was a different occasion. So on this other occasion, I picked up 2 books. and I picked up Off with Their Heads by Izoi Hanamikuta. This is, I think, based on Alice in Wonderland, like it's a retelling, but it's set, well, it's still the world of Wonderland, but, oh, here we go, there we go. So it's a Korean-inspired reimagining of Alice in Wonderland. So yeah, it sounded really interesting, and I do really like Alice in Wonderland. I always especially really like the retellings. It sounded interesting, so I wanted to pick it up, and the cover is what drew me in at first, and the title, because like, ooh, Alice in Wonderland. And then, yeah, read that it definitely was. So yeah, it sounded interesting. I don't know about content, but that's the problem when you don't look things up. I can't be bothered to do all of that. Okay, and then the next book I picked up at the same time, also a hardback. They are so cheap at this place. This was $5.99. £6. Insane. And then this hardback was $6.99, £7. Insane as well. So, this one is called Never, and by Jessa Hastings. Jessa Hastings is more known for her Magnolia Park series. I've not read that. From what I've heard, it's not really going to be one I want to read, especially because I think there's content in it, as well as the fact that I think they're all just unlikable characters. But I've heard this is based on Peter Pan, and also that, well, I feel like, and I don't know if I'm making this up, but I think the person that I heard about this book from first says that it's set or inspired by Prince Edward Island, where obviously, if you know, Anne Shirley lived there, the character, obviously. So that is what drew me in, as well as the fact that it's Peter Pan retelling. So here's the cover, gorgeous cover, and then it also has the map on the end pages. Look at that. Look at it. I don't know if it's the same on the back. Ooh, also it's quite unusual. Usually a white hardback with like pink shiny, well, maybe not quite pink, but maybe rose gold, maybe writing. So very interesting. I like it. Yeah, it's the same one on the back, so I won't show the back. But yeah, it sounded interesting, so I picked it up. Because it's been on my TBR for a while. These next three I got, where did I get them from? Oh yes, I got them from a different independent bookstore. This is the one in Lytham that I go to quite a lot, near the seaside sort of area. And they have a independent bookshop that I always like to go in and spend my money in, because I like having the excuse that I'm supporting an independent business. Is anyone surprised? No. We'll say anything we can to buy more books. We all know it. It's a problem. So I got a few books at that particular time. I'll start with the one paperback, and then I'll show you the rest because they're hardbacks. So the one paperback I picked up is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Gorgeous cover. I picked this up because I was originally going to buddy read this with Whitney from Whitney Reads. Unfortunately that fell through, and I still didn't get to it in the month of October anyway, so unfortunately, so yeah, I haven't read this yet, but I want to at some point. Then the rest are all hardbacks, and the first book in my pile, they're in no particular order, is Little Red Death by A.K. Benedict. The cover drew me in first. I actually saw this cover the last time I was there before I picked it up this time, in this particular time. And the cover drew me in because just the drastic colours with the black background, the white snow and wood hut, and then all the red. It just drew me in. So then when I went back the second time and still saw this, I was like, let's just read the blurb. And the blurb is crazy. I realised that it actually isn't the real blurb, it's more of a, I don't know what you call it. kind of like maybe an enticement to get you to want to read it, I don't know. So the thing on the back, which is this, isn't the actual blurb, it's more kind of maybe a character in the book, I don't know, but certainly someone talking to the reader. But actually the real one, the real blurb is there. But I'm purposely trying not to read it because I don't want it to ruin the back for me, because the back is what enticed me, and I'm scared if I read the actual blurb I'll be put off. So from the short amount that I glimpsed looking at it, I was like, okay, I don't want to know more because I might not want to read it, and I don't want to be put off, because what if it is actually really good, you know? So yeah, but also look at that spine. Well, it's not a spine, edges. Oh, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. There you go, that's better. Look at it, gorgeous. So yeah, very nice. The hardback isn't anything special, but it's black with red writing on the spine. Also, all of the hardbacks that I picked up at this time were all signed. That's not on purpose. I don't care if they're signed. Most of these I don't know the authors, so, or at the very least I've not read them. Because, as I will tell you with these last two, I do know the authors, I just haven't read their books. Funny. So the next one that I bought at the time is The Society of Unknowable Objects by Gareth Brown. And again, the cover drew me in because look at that. And also the title, because it sounded like possible like adventure, maybe not archaeology, but maybe archaeology, but that sort of object sort of thing. And I read the blurb, I was like, oh, okay, I want to read this. It sounded really good. I think there's a secret society, maybe, and they protect magical objects, basically. So it does sound like that sort of adventure story. And I actually already have a book by this author, and that is The Book of Doors. Not read that either, but that sounded good. So hopefully I'm not going to have another situation of buying multiple books by an author and not reading them yet, because I have done that. Riley Sager is one of them. So I want to actually stop and actually read some of the books. So the last one is The Silence Factory by Bridget Collins. Again, she wrote the Betrayals and also The Binding. I think I have The Binding, and again, not read that yet. But again, the cover drew me in because it looked like a tapestry with the way all of this is being done, and that really intrigued me. So I, read the blurb, and it sounded really interesting. Again, I think this is kind of, I don't know if it's magical or magical realism or fantasy, or I don't know, but it's certainly partly set in the past, in real life anyway. Well, I assume in the past, just by the titles of some of these people, because they're like lords or whatever. But yes, it sounded really interesting, and there's also a cover there on the back of another character there, and then also the best bit is the hardback. So let me show you just how lovely this book is. So this is the front, and that already looks really cool with the spider's web, and I like the colour of the burgundy. But not only do you have a lovely spine, look at that spine, absolutely gorgeous, but you also have quite nice end pages. Look at that, with all those plants. Oh, I love that. So yeah, I really like it, and it's the same on the other side, so I won't show you the other side. But yeah, very intrigued and gorgeous book. And again, this is signed by the author. And again, even though I actually do know who the author is, same with Gareth Brown, I don't care about whether it's signed or not. The next ones are the last ones that I bought for myself. Wait, no, they're not. I do have some other books in here. And let's get back onto it then. So, the last ones that I bought before it was my birthday stuff are actually pre-orders. One of them was a recent pre-order, so I didn't have to wait that long, mainly because I didn't know about it. And then the other I've known for months, multiple months, so I pre-ordered it. So the more recent pre-order is We Love You Bunny by Mona Award. If you remember, I read Bunny by the same author, and this is book 2. This is a mixture of a prequel and sequel, because some of the characters are talking about what happened like a couple of years ago. Well, I think. I'm not actually sure how long in the future it is after the end of the first book. But it's certainly at least a year, if not 2 or more. But they talk about, some of the characters talk about when they first arrived at the university where the first book is set, and then it's supposed to go into like present day for the characters. So I'm actually mainly listening to this on audio at the moment, but I do want to physically read it as well, because if you saw my first book, I tabbed up the other one and annotated and highlighted. It was a wild ride, and I have to say, the second one is too. Really good so far. Not one I would necessarily recommend to those of you who watch me, at least those of you who comment anyway, because a lot of you are Christian like me, and I don't think it's one I would recommend to any of you. I know some Christians do read more secular books that I personally wouldn't read as a Christian. So maybe there are some who would read Bunny and We Love You Bunny, but I wouldn't recommend it. But then the last pre-order that I got is Noble, and of course this is a bit of a obvious one because, as you know, it was on my TBR for last month in October. Noble is by Misha Andrews, and this is book 2 in the King David's Bride series that she's doing, and it's Christian biblical fiction. Still not started it yet, so I'll have to do that at some point. But yes, if it's anything like the first one, I'm excited. I love the first one. Right, that's all of the books that are not birthday related. Let's get into my birthday ones. So I think I'm going to start with the ones that are out, and these are actually a bit of a surprise. So, for those of you who don't know, I am in a group chat with some lovely Christian ladies who are on BookTube like me, and they're all the ladies who are going to be in the Tin Salt and Tales readathon alongside me with our creator and main host Lucy from Lucy Chronicles. And so we've had this group chat to kind of get to know each other and stuff like that, you know, for the lead up to December, which is when Tin Salt Tales is. This isn't an announcement per se. I will do a proper announcement, I think, when I do my TBR. But if any of you see my community posts, I did upload the post talking about showing Lucy's video that she uploaded about the announcement. So I will try and link her video down below, maybe, if I can remember or can be bothered. Sorry, Lucy. Yeah, anyway, that's a lot unnecessary talk. Anyway, in this group chat, we have all shared our birthdays and, you know, some, you know, private information that's only for us, if we want to send, you know, books or cards or whatever. So one of the lovely ladies is Lauren, who is lovely. We have quite a few similarities in our not health but disability impairment related. We are both hard of hearing, which is crazy how Lucy has brought us together in that group chat, and then we find out how we both have hearing problems, and it's brilliant. Anyway, she's a lovely lady. All of the ladies are on the group chat. But she very kindly sent me not just one book for my birthday. She sent me 2 books. 2. Books are expensive, guys, okay? They're all going up in prices, okay? I mean, they might be cheaper on Amazon, but they're still not that cheap. So, like, the fact that she sent me 2 is just mind-blowing. So thank you again so much, Lauren, for these books, because I did not expect to have just 1 book, never mind 2. So I'm going to start with the one that's in my hand. So the first one that she sent me is If the Boot Fits by Karen Wittemeyer. She's a Christian author, and this is a historical fiction set in Texas, and it's a fairy tale retelling. And the fairy tale retelling series from Karen Wittemeyer is Texas Ever After, so I assume they're all set in Texas. I think they're all set in the same sort of era or years, I think, as well, but I could be wrong. But anyway, this is If the Boot Fits, which, as I'm sure you can tell by the title and the blue dress, this is a Cinderella retelling. And this is actually a gender-swapped one, so instead of Cinderella being a woman losing her glass slipper, Cinderella is the guy instead of a woman, and so he loses his boot. So it'll be really interesting to see how Karen Wittemeyer does it. I've never read any of her books, but there's quite a few that sound really good, including this series. I think this is book 2. I'm not sure if you have to read them in order. If you don't, I want to get to this. If not, I'll have to read book 1, but that's fine. She's also the one who wrote a Christmas book that I was really interested in. A Texas Christmas Carol, which is a novella, which I think a couple of people were talking about last Christmas, and that sounded really good, because I don't read or watch much cowboy stuff, but I love cowboys. So yeah, I want to read that at some point as well. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. So thank you for this one, Lauren. And then the second and last book that Lauren got me is Once Upon a Wardrobe by Patti Callahan. Is it Callahan? Yeah, Callahan. This is it's not really a retelling, I don't think. I could be wrong. But it's kind of I don't know how to describe it, but it's set in the future. So it's, well, in the future, it's still in the past for us. So this is set in 1950, and so basically the main character's brother is ill, and his favourite book is The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. And this is basically about, I think, the sister going to try and speak to him. Because her brother has questions about Narnia that he wants answers to. So it sounded really good. I absolutely love the cover. Look how wintry that is. Oh, honestly, looking at it now, I'm getting a bit into the Christmas spirit. Or at least the winter. Sometimes it comes and goes with me. But loads of people really like it. I'm really interested to try it, even though I've never read Narnia. Don't hate me. But yeah, I do have the series now, and I did watch the first film. But yeah, and it's definitely something I would really like. It's that sort of fantasy that I really like. Kind of portal fantasy, I guess is probably what you'd call it, but I'm not sure. But either way, love it. Anyway, so let's have a look. I can't remember which ones I've picked up now. So I'm going to start with other presents that I've not picked up, but were given to me. I'm trying to find all of them so I don't get them confused. Fusion! How many did you get me then? So I'm going to start with the presents that my uncle got me. So as those of you who have watched my past birthdays and Christmas video haul type things, my uncle moved to Michigan in America. Ooh, is it 12 years now? 12, 13 years, something like that. And because of that, obviously we don't really see him. We talk online, so we see, video chats, but not in person. So he in more recent years, probably in the last not quite 10 years, but getting up to that. He's been sending me books and for birthdays and Christmas, which obviously, me being a book lover, love it. So I've usually given him a list, and this year it was even easier because I figured out how to do an Amazon book wish list. So I basically looked on my wish list, picked out a load of them, and then sent the list to my uncle. So actually one of them hasn't arrived yet, so I'll put a picture up for it. Although I can't remember the title, so that's going to be really fun. With being someone who films on my phone. So I'm going to have to just tell you what, not tell you the title, and I'll just put a picture up in edit. In edit? Yeah. When I'm editing. Either way, so I'll start with that one because otherwise I will probably forget to talk about it. So one book either hasn't arrived or has arrived, but I've not got it yet, because I've been ill. I have had COVID this week since, what day was it? Thursday last week. Today's Tuesday for reference. So my uncle sends my books to his mum, my grandma, and then I take them home when I get them or whatever. So that should have arrived there by now, I think, because the book, he said the book isn't going to arrive till about November, which was weird because when I sent it to him, it was fine. But there we go, it doesn't matter. I don't mind, as long as I get it, that's all that matters. So yeah, I don't have it physically with me at the moment, but hopefully once I'm well enough, it'll be there when I go to Grandma's. So that book is the first book in the Cozy Mystery series by Elizabeth Penny, and this is the Cambridge Bookshop Mysteries. I can't remember what the first book is, but I have the second one, which I got from him as well. I'm not sure if, I think this was quite a while before I started YouTube, so I've not shown it to you. And I can't remember the title for that book either, but there we go. But it was book 2, because it sounded really interesting. Someone else talked about it, and I was like, oh, that sounds good. And the cover is really cute. It's got a cat on it. And I think it's kind of spooky, autumnal, Halloween-y sort of cover. I think certainly autumnal. Anyway, when I realised it's the second book, and I didn't know if it needed to be read in order, so I've not read it on purpose, so then have asked for the first book. So that is one of my birthday books, the first book in the Cambridge Bookshop Mystery Series by Elizabeth Penny. I apologise for not knowing the title. I forgot to check that before I filmed. But that is one of the books he got me. The next one is also a cozy mystery because it's on the top of my pile and it's might as well do it at the same time. And that is the Murder at the Beacon Bake Shop book by Darcy Hannah. This is a Beacon Bake Shop mystery series, and this is book 1. And as you can see, I've started reading it. And look at that Camilla. She's got a dog. Okay, he is what is he? What dog is he? I forget. A Newfoundland dog, and he's called Wellington. He's brilliant. I love him. Well, it's not brilliant. He's a dog, but he is brilliant. I love him. He's so cute and he's so funny. He's typical dog as well. Very cheeky. But we love that, don't we? Let's be honest, we love that. This is as you can tell by the title, a baking, cooking mystery. It's got recipes at the back for all of you recipe lovers. And it's been really funny. I've laughed out loud so far because I've started it. Basically, it's not, if you've seen my TBR for this month, this isn't on there. And that's because this is a mood read. I have been walking past it and I've just been going, oh, because I really like the cover and it makes me excited and I want to read it. And I'm like, you know what, I'm ill, let's just get on with it and read it. So I'm reading it now. I'm about halfway. I think I'm just over or just under. I think I'm just under halfway. So yeah, really enjoying it so far. So yeah. And again, I've got the first one because I like the sound of other books in the series. So, but you see, I knew this time not to do a different book. So there we go. So that's that one. Let's stick, you know what, let's stick with the non-Christian ones, because I did get some Christian books from him as well. So the next book that my uncle got me is The Darkling Bride. This is by Laura Anderson. Not heard of her, but I've heard someone, I think it was, again, Darling Desi, talking about this a few years ago, saying it was really good. It looks, I really like the cover. It sounded interesting. I can't remember what it's about, but apparently the author is known for the Bolin King trilogy series, if you'd know that one. I don't. But yeah, the book sounded interesting. I think, is it vampires or possible vampires? Or maybe ghosts. I'm not sure. But I've just seen that there's a mention of a historic library, so I'm sold. Okay, yeah. So basically the main character is hired by this family in Ireland to take an inventory of their library. So there we go. There's also mentions of people who died like 20 years ago, as it's set in this book. So I don't know if it'll be dual timeline or whether it will just mention that, you know, they died or whatever. I don't know, but as far as I know, it's modern day. Oh, no. Interesting. Okay, I think it is dual timeline, or at the very least there are letters from the other timeline. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, yeah, so it's dual timeline. I don't know. Does it tell me near the beginning? I think it does. So it's set in 2015 and the late 1800s. So yeah, it sounded really interesting. So I want to read that at some point. The next 3 books from my uncle are all Christian fiction. So let's go. So the first one is the 3rd book in a series. Can you guess what series? For a Lifetime by Gabrielle Meyer. So I'm excited. I know they're on Kindle Unlimited, but the problem is I've already got the first 2, so my brain's like, no. They have to be physical. So my bookshelf is crying. And so is my bank account, because I'm paying for Kindle Unlimited, but I'm not using it as much. Oh yay, we do love a good waste of money, don't we? Not. I do try, okay, it's just I'm a slow reader, so I don't get through that many books. So yeah. But then the next 2 are very exciting because they are all from Christian booktubers. And I say booktubers lightly for one of them because I don't think he is actually doing booktube. I think he's on YouTube, but I don't think he talks about books. I could be wrong. I'm not actually following him, so I could be wrong. But the first one I know for sure is, and that is Christy A. Cole. And this is her first book, Ariadne and the Legend of the Fire Rose. This is book 1 in her fantasy series. I don't know. Is it YA? I'm not sure, but either way, it's Christian, it's fantasy, and look at that cover. Oh, I love it. I really want to read this. I think it's YA because it's talking about a character and her 16th birthday. So yeah, I think it's YA. I'm really excited to read this. I have been wanting to do a specific video or video series. I'm not quite sure how I'll go about it yet. About reading Christian booktubers' books. So Christy A. Cole is one of them. Shortona Havoc is another one. I have heard of another person since called Courtney, but I don't follow her. I can't remember her last name. But someone I watched was talking about her book recently. I feel like it could be Oshina, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure. Either way, there's another one as well, but I haven't got her book, so that's a non-issue at the moment. But I would like to do that and, you know, promote my Christian friends, or people I know of anyway. in terms of, this next author and the corny lady. And so the last Christian book that I asked for is The King's Sword. No, The King Sword by Micah I. Cooley, and he is a Christian author. I think this, again, is, I feel like this could be book one in the series, or it's a standalone. I'm not actually sure. But either way, as I'm sure you can tell by the picture and title, it's a fantasy. And I do like me a good bit of fantasy. And I've heard a lot of really good things about this book as well from my other fellow Christian booktubers. So I'd like to read this as part of that series. And that is all of my presents. Now, let's have a coffee break, and then I'll tell you what books I bought for myself for my birthday. Whilst I was out with a friend the day after my birthday, we went to Waterstones, and I had a look around. I didn't buy anything that particular time, but did I go in afterwards? Yes, I did. But whilst I was out, I actually got a free sample of a perfume, Spice Bomb by Victor and Wolf. It smells nice. Very spicy. Oh, actually, it smells good. This was a free sample this lady was giving out outside of a perfume shop, and I felt bad because, not that there were loads of people ignoring her, but certainly some were, and I felt bad. So I was like, oh yeah, thank you, and I tried to be fleetingly nice, so I hope that blessed her. But anyway, it was a free sample, so yeah, I don't mind those. They're useful for putting in my bag for when I go to the gym, because I don't want to carry my perfume around with me. I can't be bothered with that, so they're really useful for that. So, whilst I was out with my friend, and I went back in after she left because she needed to go home, because she had another activity with her kids, I went back into Waterstones and picked up some books. And I was really good. I only picked up 3. Which, for me, I think is probably the lowest amount of books I've ever bought at a Waterstones. So I'm quite impressed, if I'm honest. I don't know whether that's sad or not. It probably is. But there we go. So these are the books I picked up. The first one is The Village Library Demon Hunting Society by C.M. Wagner. I think is how you pronounce the name. I love the cover, and it sounded really cute. I think this is a murder mystery, I think. Or certainly a mystery. Anyway, yeah, rising body count. So yeah, basically it was librarians and demon hunting. I'm hoping, because it's demon hunting, I'm hoping that this is like we don't like demons, we are going to exorcise you, or, get rid of them. And this doesn't turn out to be, oh, he's just messing around, oh, we'll have help from him and stuff like that. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I really am, because I don't agree with that. As a Christian, demons are, as the name usually suggests, are bad. So, no thank you. So we'll have to see. But there's a pink can. I want to try it. As far as I know, I think this is cozy, I think, or at least not graphically thrillery, horror-y sort of thing, I don't think. So I'm hoping this will be good. I don't think it's in a series that are other books by the same author, but I don't think they're part of a series, so I don't need to worry about that. But yes, hopefully it'll be good, I hope. But I've heard about that book and I've wanted to read that for a while, so that's another one off my list. The next one is a horror, I think, or thriller horror. And I've heard lots of good things about this from people who like horror, obviously. Obviously it will be a good book. But this is called We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver. I don't know how to pronounce his name, sorry. But there it is. I really like the cover. That house looks cool. But this is basically about this couple, or a family, or a couple who have moved into this old house, and basically one day they get a knock on the door, and this guy or this other family There was one man who says that he used to live here and he was wondering if he could have a look around, you know, for like reminiscing and stuff like that. And then they're like, sure, okay, weird it out naturally, but you know, no harm in it. So they let him in, and basically, I don't think he wants to go home to his new home. You know, well, maybe not quite new, but you know what I mean. Leave his old home. So it sounds interesting. I think strange things start happening. I've heard there were things like Morse code involved. So that threw me. I was like, what? Shocking. But yeah, it sounds really good. So I'd like to read that at some point. The next one is another one I've wanted to read, and I have to say sometimes I worry about myself when I buy books this big. Because, well, yes. But the next book is I think sort of a newer release. I don't know how new, but it's new to me. When did it get published? Oh, wait, really? Oh, okay, so this one came out in 2023. I don't remember that at all. Then again, I don't keep up with new releases, so that's probably why. But the paperback came out this year, and that is the book called The Will of the Many, and this is by James Islington, or Islington. This is book one, apparently. I didn't realise, in the series Hierarchy. But this is Greek. Is it Greek? Or Roman, one of those. They're very similar in design. But this is set in those times, I think. And this is basically, I think this is kind of like a school sort of background again, but there's things, I don't know if there's a fantasy element or something like that, but there's certainly something that sounded interesting. Secrets and, oh no, yeah, there it is. It's a fantasy series, so yeah, it sounded interesting, but it's a chunker. Look how big that is. You could kill someone with this book. I mean, to be fair, you could probably kill someone with Shield of Sparrows more than this one, because this is paperback. Shield of Sparrows is hardback. Very painful. But I picked this up because it sounded interesting and I want to try it. When I'll get to it, no, I couldn't tell you. But whilst I was out, I got the bus home. However, I had to wait because the bus that I got was only that I get to go to where I went. It's only every half an hour. So when I checked the times, I noticed I basically wouldn't get there in time to get the bus. So I had about half an hour to spare. And I was like, well, what do I do? So I went into WH Smith, which has actually been taken over by another company. And that company is PD James, I think. So yeah, I basically went in there, had a look around. They sell all sorts of different things. They sell a lot of cheaper, or at least they have lots of offers on books. They've got stationery things, lunchy, like lunch boxes and like travel cups, all sorts of different things, magazines as well. So whilst I was there, I had a look around and I saw a couple of things. The first one I'll show you is a reusable cup, and I don't really like the colour. I don't really care about it. There was a black one, but the black one was more expensive, and this was £5 cheaper. So, and this was like a £5, and the other one was £10. So I was like, I'll just get the cheaper one. I don't care that much. But it's that screw top reusable cup. I didn't think about it at the time, but it's not safe to use in a bag unless you can guarantee that it's not going to tip over, because it will drip down here, or at the very least from the top with the little gap where your straw goes. So not great, unfortunately, but I didn't think about that when I bought it, because I was thinking, oh, I could use this, and you know, for when I go out to the gym and stuff like that, but no, I can't. But that's fine. But it's textured, so I don't know if you can really tell on camera, really, but it's textured. You can hear it on my rings. So it's that sort of texture, and that's why I like it. That's literally the only reason I bought it, because my textile touch sensitive stuff is really happy with it. It's like, yes. But I prefer the black one. But interestingly, the black one also isn't quite the same with the... It's not spiky. Well, it's sort of spiky, but basically it's slightly different, which is weird. But, so I do like the texture of this more, but I like the colour of the other one more. So, there we go. But this is cheaper, so, yeah. I wasn't about to spend £10 on one of these. I was like, I ain't doing that. So, yeah, £5. So, I'm very happy with this. I like the texture. Very fun. And then, whilst I was there, they had some offers on colouring books. And so I had a look at them for a good while, and I was like, I'll pick up a couple. Because it was buy one, get one half price, I think. Can't remember now. But I picked these two up. There were also some Halloween themed ones, but they were on the top shelf. And if you don't know, I am 4'6", so the top shelf is no-go unless I'm with someone. I could have asked someone to help me, I know. But the problem is I wanted to look through them. So I didn't want to be a bother to the staff. But they were like cute Halloween ones. So they were kind of like your cozy, cute colouring books that you see being quite popular at the moment. The ones that are kind of easy, but not necessarily massively childish. But certainly could be. Anyway, I didn't get those. But I did get these two. So I've got Cafe Cuties. This is a cozy colouring book by Suzanne Washington. And this is really cute. It's got some cute little pictures, some kitty cats, and some food, and some plants, and all the rest of it. Oh, look at that. So yeah, very cute. So I picked that up. And then this one was my favourite. This has a really cool edition that I think all the colouring books should have. But this is another Cuties colouring book. My Little Cozy Life is what it's called. Who's it by? It doesn't say a person, but it's published by Two Windmills Limited. So yeah, but the really cool thing about this is that at the back there is a little flap that you can use to put under. So when you like wanting to colour a book, a picture, you can put that there and then colour it, and it won't bleed through apparently. So that's really cool. If it works, I think all of them should have it. But I'll give you a little flip through of the different pictures as well. So there you go. Some really cute ones. Someone reading. Oh, that, a little bath time. Just really cute pictures. Do I do much colouring? No. But I do want to. It's just I have limited space. So that's why I only got two. Because I already have one that I've not used much, but I have used it. It's similar to this sort of style. But that one I think I got off. I think I got that one off Temu actually. And that was just patterns, like geometric patterns. Because honestly, looking at them, it was really satisfying. And I was like, you know what, I want to do that one. So yeah. So that's actually all I've got for the past, I don't know how many months, and my birthday. So thank you for watching. For those of you who have decided you don't mind watching a haul. Is there any books that I've talked about that you would like to read yourself? Or are there any books that you have read and you would recommend to me? I know a lot of you would recommend my Christian fiction ones, obviously. But yes, I'd like to know what you think. And tell me, do you like colouring as well? Or do you like these particular style ones where they're cute and cozy, kind of easy ones? Do you like using those yourself, or do you prefer the more traditional adult colouring books where they're a bit more complicated? I do love those as well, but I find it takes me a long time to do them, and it's partly why I don't colour much, because of that reason. It takes me a while. So yeah, but there we go, that's the way it goes. So yes, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a lovely week. yeah, God bless. And I love you all. Bye.